We often hear about different murders from the news, but some murders are so chilling that they make our skin crawl. This story is about one such murder case that the Ladakh police were never able to solve. One morning, the Ladakh police received a call from a small hotel. A guest's dead body had been found in one of their rooms. The police had seen many tourist deaths due to road accidents, but this was the first time they had encountered a murder in a small hotel in Ladakh. The body belonged to a 28-year-old man named Ravi, who had been hiding in the hotel for a few days. There were dark marks on his neck, and his eyes were wide open, as if he had seen something horrifying before he died. When the police searched his room, they found a letter along with a photo of a girl. In the letter, Ravi wrote that his life was in danger, and that the girl in the photo, Riya, was responsible for everything happening to him. Ravi claimed that she had ruined his life. Ravi had returned to Delhi after finishing college, and that's when strange things started happening to him. One day, he was running late for an important meeting and was driving his car, but suddenly, his car's brakes failed. This was strange, as his car had been working perfectly the night before. Due to the brake failure, he had an accident that left him with a broken hand and a serious head injury. But as he lay unconscious, he saw Riya outside his car window. As soon as he saw her, he passed out. When he regained consciousness, he was in a hospital. Ravi thought the whole incident was just his imagination and tried to forget it. But a few days later, one night, his parents woke him up. When he looked around, he saw that the windows of his house had been shattered. Someone had thrown stones and badly damaged the house. That night, Ravi felt like the girl in the photo, Riya, was standing outside his house. He ran out and searched the nearby streets for her, but couldn't find her anywhere. For a while, nothing happened. But then, one weekend when Ravi was at his girlfriend Nisha's apartment, something happened that shook him to his core. Ravi and Nisha were standing on the balcony, having a sweet conversation, when suddenly the doorbell rang. Ravi went to collect their dinner, but then he heard Nisha screaming loudly from the balcony. Ravi ran towards the balcony, but by then it was too late. Nisha had fallen 4 floors down, lying motionless in a pool of blood. When Ravi looked closely, Riya was standing near Nisha's lifeless body, staring directly at him. Ravi rushed toward her, but as soon as he got close, she vanished into thin air. Ravi hadn't even recovered from the shock of Nisha's death when, 2 days later, he received news that his house had caught fire, killing his parents in the blaze. Right then, he got a phone call from an unknown number. On the other end, he heard a girl laughing maniacally, and Ravi instantly recognized the voice. It was Riya. The call abruptly ended. Ravi and Riya had once been deeply in love during college, but after graduation, Ravi broke up with her, and from that moment on, his life had spiraled into chaos. When Ravi went to the Delhi police and told them that Riya was responsible for everything and was seeking revenge for the breakup, the police didn't take him seriously. In his letter, Ravi wrote that the Delhi police were involved with Riya. Because of his girlfriend's and his parents' deaths, the police had convinced a doctor in court that Ravi had lost his mental balance and sent him to a mental institution. But even in the institution, Riya didn't stop tormenting him. Ravi wrote that every night, Riya would release rats into his room, and they would harass him throughout the night. After suffering for days, Ravi became convinced that someone in the mental institution was also working with Riya. One day, he found an opportunity and escaped, fleeing as far as Ladakh. In the last part of his letter, Ravi wrote that he saw Riya every day in Ladakh, and that if anything happened to him, Riya would be responsible. The Ladakh police read the letter, but the case became even more complicated when forensic reports revealed that Ravi had strangled himself to death. There were no signs of anyone else in his room, and the CCTV footage from the hotel showed no trace of any woman matching Riya's description. When the Delhi police investigated Riya's home, they found out that she hadn't lived there for many years. In fact, it was revealed that Riya had been dead for several years. Riya's best friend told the police that Riya had been suffering from severe depression and eventually died from weakness. But the reason for her depression was none other than Ravi. Riya had been a brilliant student and a kind girl, but Ravi had taken advantage of her love, making her write his exams. When Riya caught him cheating on her with another girl, she broke up with him, but she loved him deeply and, after the breakup, fell into a deep depression. She stopped eating, stopped talking to anyone, and became consumed by sadness. After gathering all the information from the Delhi police and investigating the surroundings, the Ladakh police concluded that Ravi had gone mad and taken his own life. But the police were always left with a lingering doubt. Everything in Ravi's letter was true. His girlfriend had died after falling from the apartment, and his parents had died in a fire. The police never found a solid reason for why Ravi would take his own life, but due to media pressure, they closed the case. So, was Ravi truly insane, or was he really haunted by the spirit of his ex-girlfriend Riya, who came back for revenge? Perhaps she first ruined his life, and then ended it. What do you think? Let us know in the comments.